Where's the bang bang, Preston? Come on.
I can't breathe.
Pub Sports Radio. Come find us in Southtown 101. Subscribe on YouTube and all platforms where podcasts are found.
Boom, baby, boom. We're live, baby, live. Welcome to Pub Sports Radio, NCAA Net Profit. I'm Conor Mack. He's great, Maxwell Smart. It's Thursday, January 6th, Max. And how are you doing today? You seem pretty hyped up about this overtime game going on right now. What's going on?
Yeah, yes, I am very hyped up. I'm very distracted. McNeese just fucking scored 2 free throws on my stream to tie it at 79-79 with 14.4 seconds left. And to add on, I got a live play from my Patreon stream that I'm sweating in the Radford USC Upstate game. So, Connor, it's going to be a very big challenge for me to stay concentrated on you, stay concentrated on the awesome Pub Sports Radio chatters and subscribers. And let's get these goddamn college basketball winners before I take this mic and throw it out the goddamn window.
I like to hear it. You heard it right here. He's fired up. He's ready to roll. Before we get on to today, let's do a quick recap of yesterday. Good day for me. Swept the board. Always love a day like that. Max. Obviously, the Pitt game, way too many points in that one. The St. Joe's over. Easy got over. Davidson hung 88. 73, that one. VMI, they didn't win, but man, that was a good game. They lost 80-79. That game went over as well. And VCU, really, I kind of 5-0. I didn't give it. I bet it, just not as big. Took it on the show here, but I could that under. But man, I thought 124 was enough. It was racing just to get to 50. But if that game went to OT, Max, it could have been trouble if that game just stayed the under. But VCU keeps they got Dayton's number. Not only they cover, they get the outright win. So good day for me. A few other games were good. We'll run through the scores. We'll talk about the games you bet on the show from yesterday.
Yeah, the games I bet on the show were shit. No fucking doubt about it. Listen, I don't get shook by it because I'm a volume bettor. And if you want me to choose best bets every day, this is the volatility that you're going to get. And sometimes it's just going to be plain shit. So I come back every day. I stare you right in the goddamn face and I say, that's gambling for you. Fucking, I made the wrong plays. Today is another day.
Yep.
There are so many good spots. And
I agree.
Even without the best bets, guys, we're going through every game on the card. We're giving you information that is going to put money in your pocket. And if you get hung up on best bets, that's on you.
You've
been watching me for the last 4 years. You know what it is. So let's just get to the card. I think that last night's games were fantastic. And Connor, break some of those down.
I will. Let me just run through some of these from last night real quick. I know you're watching the game anyways. And just chime in if you want to, like you normally do, if you really want to talk about some. Michigan State got the win. Did get the cover there. Iowa State 51-47. Crazy if that line kept moving all the way up. I didn't see it, actually, because I didn't watch the replay of that game. Someone said they hit a bomb three. I didn't watch it. So Texas Tech for some people that had that. Man, that must have been ugly. Houston got the win over South Florida. The cover. Florida, choke. Mike White, can't trust him. That's so far. Alabama, who was shaky, went in there, took care of business. Florida was ice cold. Tennessee and OT. That was a lot of points. I wish I was on Ole Miss there. Villanova took it back to Creighton. Creighton beat them by 20. They were not messing around. Beat you by 30 plus in that one. St. John's got the 5-point win over DePaul. Some people pushed. Some people won on that. He had 4.5. The game easily went over. Talk about a game that another game that easy went over. And some of these, with totals in the 160s, Buffalo Bowling Green, 99-88. No worries on the total even in that one. Gardner-Webb beat Charleston Southern. We talked VCU beat Dayton. East Tennessee just got VMI, but that was a good game. Same thing with Tulane. They just overtime sucked for them. That was a shitty into that game. Then going to OT, and then they had nothing left. East Carolina wins by 8 there. We can hit on Presbyterian didn't cover. They lost North Carolina AT&T. Mercer Sanford over, but Mercer didn't cover in that one. Richmond got the win over UMass. I was worried about the players with UMass. They still covered. So I wish I kind of played it, but it wasn't that big a deal to me. Youngstown State, 4-point win, push there with Robert Morris. Temple. Go ahead.
There were a lot of people that got 3 and 3.5 during the day before the announcement of Rasheed Dunn not being out, and then he actually suited up. So that opening line, if you got on Youngstown, was the perfect time to get on it, and you definitely had to sweat for that winner. But it definitely put money in your pocket on that and on the under first half and full game.
This was one that I liked Temple a bit yesterday, but I didn't pull the trigger. And you were on the other side. Temple, I beat UCF. UCF's in a little bit of a funk here lately. We talked about Davidson with the big win. They were hot last night. Furman with the 58-54 win over Greensboro. I thought they'd be more points in that one like we talked about, but there wasn't. There, Citadel, Western Carolina, OT game, another ton of points, 94-90. Another one with a ton of points, Max. Miami gets the win, but not the cover if you had Syracuse +2. There, they covered for you. That's about it. Let's run through the last few ones. Missouri State beat Bradley by 2 there, and Notre Dame with the big win over North Carolina. North Carolina, just a few. They've been good on the road at times, just a clunker, though. These kids, they happen. When people give me shit like, man, that bet was pathetic, it's like, hey, we're going off all our stuff. Like, if they just have a bad game, they're going to have bad shooting nights. Other teams are going to light it up, Max. So it is what it is. You just got to go through it. You're capping and everything that you do. So that was it. That's all on yesterday. Are you you doing good on your games there? You ready to be focused on yours here?
I'm actually getting very angry as I sit here watching New Orleans fuck the dog right now. It's literally like watching a chihuahua get sodomized by a squirrel. It is hilariously aggravating. So,
yeah, it's not an easy team. Those teams aren't easy to bet sometimes and watch.
Well, I'll
some
just
of the
say
basketball.
This. I'll just say this, Connor. If anything, the chihuahua should be mounting the squirrel, not the other way around.
Very true. Very true in that one. Real quick, one last one. Penn State beat Northwestern. About the points were there. They went outright in that game. Go ahead.
That was a Seth Lundy 3 that put them ahead 66-63. It was absolutely amazing that they were able to play such good defense on the road when their pattern has been to get blown out. So numbers can betray you, and they betrayed me on that one last night, and Gus got the last laugh, but his girlfriend got a dick pic from me.
Damn. Only Max would give him the dick pic. Here we go. Shout out to the best chat in the game. We got to hit the chat out real quick, Max, before we hit the like, go on Twitter, hit the retweet. No, we're on. This is drive time. This is the lines. Like we said, we go through all the games every day. So, yeah, give us a like, give us a subscribe, all the good shit. Hit us with a dono whenever you can, or you feel like we've done a good job and won you some games. So we appreciate all the support from the chat. Let's hit them up. Jake Burns, Chai Archie in the house, Paulie Walnuts, Dale, our guy in there, Luke Murphy, astute author. Luke Murphy, what's up, my guy? Murphy, Tony Cobbs, Jerry Conor, what's up? Jake, Dan T, Rem Mose, Mark Schillingberg, what's up, my guy? About Buck, Bill McHugh, what's up? Dap Fan, regular, what's up, Dap? Bill McDonald, Preston, Cash Action Bets, Rodney Barton. I'm trying to get everyone here. Real Deal Prime, everyone in here. We appreciate it. Thanks so much. Trap Mick Tapes Reviews. What's up, my guy? All right, Max, you ready for your games?
Yes, I am always ready. I am just waiting for you to throw me my first one while New Orleans drives me crazy and makes my hair go gray.
Yeah, no shit. Mine's going Grace. I'm getting there quick. All right, let's get to your first one. Bryant versus Wagner. Wagner's favored by 8 here. Total 143. What's your look in this one? Interesting game here that I looked at a little bit this morning.
Yeah, I think that with Bryant and Wagner, the biggest news right now is not related to the personnel for either team, is the fact that Coach Jared Grasso will not be coaching Bryant tonight, going up against the NEC's best defense, best defensive rebounding team, and one of the teams that make it the most difficult to shoot threes. Luckily enough, Bryant has been completely different than I thought they were going to be this year, even with very similar personnel. 3-point shooting has been horrific, absolutely horrific. And the only time that they've really found success scoring the basketball is when they are running off an opponent's made bucket. And I think that that's what they're going to have to do tonight against Wagner. They're going to have to push the pace. They're going to have to speed Wagner up. And we all know that it is easier to slow a team down than it is to speed them up. I think that Wagner, with their combination of Elijah Ford, Elijah Allen, Alex Morales, Delani Hunt, like the names just go on and on for talent and multi-position players on this team. I think that with Elijah Ford, he's the X factor for Wagner, because what have been the key contributor to his struggles in the non-conference was going up against physical, bigger guards. Well, no such problem will exist going up against Bryant's. So I think that this is a game that if Bryant is able to run and hit some goddamn threes, you could pray for it, then they have a chance to stay in this game. Otherwise, Wagner will out-physical them, and they will eventually be able to lock down the perimeter, make Bryant commit turnovers, and we have seen Peter Kiss get kind of emotional. So I think it's a bad matchup right now for Bryant without Jared Grasso and without a makeable and dependable three-point shot.
Yeah, Bryant, you talked about their struggle scoring, and they don't play enough defense. Maybe initially, on this line, it dropped a little bit. I think it'll have been at 9. I could see why people wanted Bryant there, but it's just a difficult one for me here. Sorry, real quick. Next one. Let's get to your next one, Max. Northwestern State versus Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Corpus Christi's 9.5-point favorites. Total high here, 153. What's your look?
Yeah, listen, I think that with Texas A&M Corpus Christi, this is a team that is on the rise. This is a good, hard-nosed team that can defend, they can score, and they've played some tough competition in Minnesota and Notre Dame, been able to hang with them. I think that with the number moving from 149 into the 150s is definitely the right way that this line in total has moved. I think that with Isaiah Mushila, this is a guy that really has some of the characteristics of Kenneth Lofton, just at a smaller mid-major size. With him, he's going to have to be the catalyst for this team. He does a lot when it comes to rebounding the basketball on the offensive and defensive side. And when it comes to making a bucket when this team needs one, even though they don't go through scoring droughts very often, that's the guy that you want to be looking towards. Solid all the way around on the offensive side of the basketball. Lots of different contributors for the Islanders. And with Miles Smith coming back from injury and playing a bigger role as the games go on, I do think that this is an Islander team that is going to be able to dispatch Northwestern State, whose defense is also quite suspect at times, but I don't think it will be an easy win. I do think that they will win and cover at the end of the night, though.
All right. Excellent game. Great breakdown on it. And like we said yesterday, some of these games, Max will let you know about them, some of these obscure ones. Let's get to your next one, Max. This is one I like a little bit here as well. We kind of could have switched on a few games, I think, today. Oral Roberts versus St. Thomas. Oral Roberts, 4.5-point favorites. This total's moved all the way up to 159. Obviously, people think there's points. Does this still get over? You think this could, like Buffalo Bowling Green last night, still gets over?
I do think that there's a good possibility of that happening, and that's just because with the Tommies, they're so 3-point oriented, and I think that as if they're hitting threes, they're in games, and games are going to go over. With their domination of Western Illinois at home, I'm not getting too far ahead of myself because Western Illinois definitely was a bit fraudulent. I do think that they're going to need freaking Riley Miller to lead this offense. With him averaging close to 18 points a game and with him being the premier 3-point shooter on this team, that's what they're going to have to live up to. It is very black and white with the Tommies. You hit threes, you win games, you cover numbers, you get over team totals. If you don't, well, you know what the other side of the coin is. So for me, it's St. Thomas scoring points tonight, and I think St. Thomas gets 280, if not above it.
Yeah, I think there's just got to be a ton of points. I've been surprised by St. Thomas this year. Both teams can just light it up. I don't know how much defense is played in this game. Let's get to your next one. La Tech favored by 3.5 versus UTEP. Total 141.5. What's your angle here in this one?
Yeah, listen, I think that losing Isaiah Crawford for La Tech has been a big loss, but it has provided Keaton Willis the opportunity and the playing time to be a difference maker at a higher level than he was getting at Incarnate Word. Kenneth Lofton is the difference for this game. I don't know what on the UTEP side or who on the UTEP side, especially if Keontae Kennedy isn't in the lineup, is going to stop Kenneth Lofton. You need guard production from Xavier Christensen and Gabe Williams, but I think that you're going to get it tonight. This is a La Tech team that has been good to me, at least in first halves. That's the way that I want to attack it tonight, because if they don't win the first half, at least I do have some time to live bet and at least try and level up or get up. So first half for me with this, I think, dominant La Tech team that hits their inside the arc shots, do a good job on the offensive glass, and do a good job of chasing good 3-point shooters off the line.
Okay, just checking some in the chat. I don't know what he's talking about. Real quick, our guy Jeff Slaughter, he says Texas two-step, SMU and Tarleton State money line.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The Texas two-step, Connor, is not a dance move. It is the next big thing when it comes to Southwestern freaking betting styles. Okay? Jeff Slaughter has started a trend, and by the end of the college basketball season, guys, we'll all be following it. We may even be in a cult called the Slaughterville. Yeah, take that in. Yeah, we're joining a cult, guys. Joining a cult.
Let's get to our next one here. You have Pacific versus BYU. BYU big, 17-point favorites. Total 137.5. What is your angle here?
Yeah, with my view on Pacific is very different on the road than they are at home. This is a group that definitely struggles to get good shooting rhythm, and against BYU in their building in a conference game, I don't expect BYU to give them any kind of daylight when it comes to having a sense that you can stay in this game. BYU is the more talented team, and with Fueni Traore emerging out of nowhere, this kid is a bruiser. This kid is a load to handle on the freaking low block. This guy's unstoppable, in my opinion. If they feed him the ball every time down the floor, BYU is going to freaking shoot 65% or more from the field. So Pacific right there is going to have their hands full taking care of this kid, because I don't know really, aside from Gonzaga and maybe St. Mary's, who have the big men, and San Francisco to really stop him. I think that with BYU, the question's always going to be, can they beat this team by a lot of points? We've seen them as recently on the 29th playing a non-D1 opponent and only beating them by 12 points. So it doesn't inspire me to take 17 points with BYU, but with Pacific's offensive trouble, BYU's pace and tempo, and BYU's defensive home numbers led me to believe that the under 137 or 137.5 was the best play out of the place to make, and that's the one that I'm going with. So I like the the under in the game and hope that Pacific's scoring struggles continue in Mormon country where they're not having sex on Saturdays.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. I'll leave it at that. All right. Those are your games. Let's get mine here and then get a word from our sponsors and get to the rest of the games. I'm sure that's what everyone wants to get to. Let's get to my first one here, Max. UC San Diego, UC Riverside. These are two teams, especially Riverside haven't played in a long time. I think it's been December 15th, something like that. It's been UC San Diego beat Northridge 72-64. They got Tony Roick back. Roick, how do you say his last name? Is that it? Roick?
I pronounce it the European way in like Rokic, but I have to listen to the broadcast again tonight. Asking me about how I pronunciate a name is the worst thing you can do, Connor.
Yeah, I know, me too. But both teams play pretty good defense in here, and that's what I loved about Riverside, a team that we've taken unders on all year, Max. I think at 133.5, this is too high. The one problem, he's back. We just talked about him. And UC San Diego, very streaky shooting. They shoot 38% from three, and if they get hot, that could take this total over. But that's my only worry in this one. So I'm on the under there. I also like the points here. It's come down a little bit, but I don't know if Riverside should be favored at this number. I think there's some value catching the 6 points with San Diego. Did you have anything here?
Yeah, I think that the points with San Diego is definitely the way to go. I think that taking one of those alternative totals on the game is also interesting because let's remember, guys, I'm a box score guy. I record a lot of shit that I see in box scores, patterns and stuff like that. And one thing that I've been noticing for like 5 years since like, I guess, 2016 would be the fact that 60% of games finish 4 points below or 4 points above the closing line. So that means that there's a lot of point selling to do when it comes to totals, and this is a very good game to do so.
Definitely. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Remember to hit the thumbs up button when you can. What's up, C. James, Cash Action Bets? Ara Murray, what's up, my guy? Jake Burns, North Ender, all the regulars, we appreciate it. Aaron, hit that like button whenever you get the chance. We appreciate it. Let's get to the next one, Max. This one, interesting game. Talk about a team. Some of these teams hasn't played in a while. How about SC? They haven't played, it seems like, forever. Last beating Georgia Tech. I think that was December 15th, I believe. I have to double check that, but it's right around there. It's been a long time. They beat them 67-53. This is an elite defensive team here in SC, and I love the way Cal's been playing. That's one thing Cal has been playing. You know, they haven't had any games canceled or a pause like SC has. So to me, at 128.5, I see value here a little bit on the under. Also, I'm staying away from the side in this game because SC's been out for a while. They're the better team. Another thing I kept looking at is when Cal beat teams like Arizona State and all these other teams, kind of like lower level teams, they barely reached 70, Max. So if Cal against these bad teams, when they played Seton Hall, when they played, I wrote down a few others, higher teams, Cal did, they couldn't get to 60, 58, 59, 60 against Florida. And I don't think Florida's a great defensive team. A little early on in the year. So I don't know how Cal gets up and over that tonight. So tough one here. I get why people like Cal a little bit. I want a few more points. It's moved that way a little bit. So I lean them with the points, but I'm going to take the under here at 128. I just think this is a dead under here. What do you think?
Yeah, listen, I think that Jordan Shepard in an outlier MVP type game can help this team win, but they need guys coming off the bench like Malachi Foreman, like Lars Thiemann to come and score the basketball. That just has not consistently happened. And when you're reliant on a guy from my city, Joel Brown, to help facilitate this offense and give you a little everything, I just don't think that it's a great situation. Andre Kelly and Jordan Shepard may be able to get off, but who else is going to be? So I think it's a tough matchup either way to lay the number or to go the other way. But with the under, it's a similar situation to what we saw with the Iowa State Texas Tech game last night. So I think that this is going to be a similar situation.
Yeah, I agree with you. You want to keep talking unders here? I'm on another one, Max. UAB, North Texas. We talk about it. Under City. I got to take the under here in North Texas. We talked about VCU's defense. They're right there. Like North Texas, top in the country. UAB is a team that can score it. But I was going through their schedule earlier today. Just garbage teams. They can put up 80 or 90. Anytime they've played anybody tough, they've scored in the 60s, 66, 63, to South Carolina. There was a couple more that they played. They barely scored 61. I see more of that here. I don't know how they can't get past those teams. I don't know how they get, maybe past 60 with North Texas, only if they get hot shooting. But North Texas defense has been so suffocating, especially against the three. Nobody's been able to do anything against them. So I think this total's too high. I think they're giving too much respect for UAB. You never know. But I think North Texas dictates, the pace. I don't think they're going to let UAB kind of run and gun here. So to me, the total is too high. I see value here. I think this total should have been set a little bit lower. So give me the under here. I also think North Texas can win this game. If you want to take it money line, go ahead. But I'd even lay the 2. I think they're better than UAB. So it's kind of a double up I want to hear. But I'm definitely on the under, and I lean North Texas. Anything here?
Yeah, listen, I think that you're right on when it comes to the total and the side, because even though I'm a huge Andy Kennedy fan, I love the roster that he's assembled at UAB. I want to see them tested on the road versus a defense that isn't going to let them do what they want to do on offense. And this is North Texas in a nutshell. I think that Grant McKiskell has done a fantastic job, first off, developing Reuben Jones to replace Javion Hamlet, and then Tyler Perry coming out of pretty much nowhere. And this kid has been a goddamn revelation, coming off the bench, giving you freaking double-digit 20-plus point scoring performances. He's fucking leading the team in points at 14.5. So This is the guy that makes a difference. They play North Texas defense, and when you hit your free throws, that's when you cover numbers. That's when you win close games. And that's when you make me happy and the cupcake store owner even happier.
Totally agree. Tyler Perry, too. Very good. Playing really well, like you said about Tyler Perry. Thinking the actor, Medea. Medea goes to whatever those stupid movies he makes, Tyler Perry. To our next game here. I got New Hampshire versus Vermont. Vermont, 10.5-point favorites. Man, I like Vermont all year. Total 127. You talked about this one. This one looks like an under here. New Hampshire hasn't played since December 11th. We talked about teams that have a long layoff, real long layoff. But both these teams, I noticed a few similar opponents. They both lost to Providence. They both lost, one by 10, one by 11. Early on, New Hampshire lost to Marquette by 5. They're 6-1 this year against the spread. They played well on the road. I told you I might be taking a shot here, but I'm taking the 10.5 with New Hampshire. Just the layoff is scaring the shit out of me, obviously, and that leads to the under. I probably have a little action on that. This total, I told you, I thought it was pretty sharp, the line here at 127. I need Martinez to have a big night, obviously one of their best scorers for New Hampshire, to have a good game. So if he does, I think they can hang around. So I'm taking the 10.5 here with New Hampshire. Do you have anything in this one?
Yeah, listen, Conor, when the number came out at 124.5, I jumped on the over on the overnight lines. I thought that was a little too low, even with New Hampshire coming off the layoff, because even though they may have rust in the first half, this is a very good free throw shooting team. Jaden Martinez is shooting 50% from the 3-point line. It may take him 20 minutes to get acclimated. And I think that with ball facilitation and Blondie Tush Kowengo, he's a Canadian. Can't pronounce the name if my life depended on it, but I tried. That's the difference maker right there. He's facilitated the offense. He's really pushed the tempo and sped it up, because this is a team that has played slow for 3 or 4 years, and they got to come out of that shell, especially against Vermont, who is going to have good perimeter guarding. And with Justin Mazzulla and Ben Shungu, those guys can freaking take you out of rhythm. So you have to speed the game up. It does not suit New Hampshire to play Vermont's tempo of game. And Vermont wants to play a game that doesn't get past 120. So it's a tough spot. On the other side, who's going to be available for New Hampshire tonight? That's a big deal for me. Is Quan Murphy going to be available? Is Tyler Matos going to be available? Those two guys make a big difference if they're in the lineup. So it's a wait and see on that aspect, but I agree with you. It's too many points to back Vermont when they don't shoot the 3-ball prolifically like they have in the past, and they don't have an Anthony Lamb who can isolate and take over.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's a go. 'Cause with those guys, it's obvious it's a COVID because, I mean, this team's been off for forever. So any guys, unless they had season-ending injury, which they, a few do, should be good. But yes, you got to check right before tip on some of these games we've been talking about the last few days. Shout out to my guy. There he is with the dono. Trey Day, keep killing it. Guy, I don't know. The man right there. Dono time. Now we're talking. Just
to shout out to Trey, Connor. That dude is creating Division I athletes, and we are blessed that he's doing so. Keep on doing it. Women of the world, love Trey, because you may have an athlete when you guys have a baby. Yeah. There we go, bro.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Trey. Let's get to my last one, then get to all the questions here. For everyone, I know everyone's already asking about him. One here, Christopher Comptini. Yep, Eastern Washington, Montana versus Eastern Washington. In this one, spreads 2.5, totals 141.5. I like Eastern Washington here a little bit at home. Obviously, catching the couple of 2.5 points. You could even take a money line. I don't know if Montana should be favored in this spot. I think you see two teams pretty even. Montana's played a little bit better defensively in all the numbers I was going through today. But I looked at the total here, and I might be wrong. I just think this is a perfect matchup. Weber State, that game got over the other day, Montana and Weber State. Eastern Washington played to a bunch of overs early on, Max. They pushed their last one at 143, but they played Texas Tech. There was a few weird games there. They're back at home. Those were all on the road. They're back in their home court. I think there'll be points here scored tonight. And I think there's just value at this number at 141. Maybe I'm crazy. Montana scores 73. Eastern Washington scores 76. They give up 73. They don't play a ton of defense. Both teams shoot it pretty well. Montana hits 8 threes a game. Eastern Washington, pretty good. They hit over 9. They're doing, I forget, maybe top 30 NCAA in threes. So at 9.5 a game. I like the over here, and I don't mind the Eastern Washington too here at home. Take the 2.5, even money line. I'm not that impressed with Montana. So what do you like here? You like anything?
Listen, I think that with Eastern Washington, the key and the question's always going to be who's available. Are they healthy? Last time out against Northern Arizona, they were dominant on the glass. They had Linton Ecclesi in the lineup, and he put up, I think, like 30 points. So him and Steel Venters is a really nice inside-out combination. Throw in UCA transfer Ryan Burgessson, and you got a real potent offense. So while they may not have the depth of other teams in the Big Sky, this is still a very explosive team and spurts. And if they can avoid droughts and don't get beaten by the physicality of Montana's front court, I do think that this game finds its way over. That's 100%.
You just hit it. Nail on the head right there. Just avoid kind of the drought and don't let Montana bum you around, like push you around. You're at home here. I noticed, all those games were kind of on the road. Like they haven't been home in over a month. So I think they get back home, friendly confines of being on the home court, baskets drop a little more, so I'm on the over there. I also don't mind. I might have a little bet Eastern Washington as well. I think at worst, this game should have been a pick 'em in my mind. I mean, I don't find Montana, that good right now. Both teams pretty good against the number too. They're like 10-3, right around there, both of them, depending on when you got a number. But when I was looking that up earlier today. All right, Max, those are my 5 today. Everyone, I'm sorry if you guys already done some questions. Load up the questions, start writing them right now. But right before start doing that, let's get a word from our sponsors, the commercials. Let's get right to it. go if you're in the Southtown 101 area. Go to Southtown 101. There's San Antonio area. Sorry, I'm so used to saying it. I always watch the commercial. I just started looking at the food looks good. The ice cold beer sitting there. Can't wait to be there in March for sure. Go to manscaped.com, 20% off. Got the Lawnmower 4.0, but don't even mess around with that. Get the full kit and caboodle. Get the whole, you get the ball deodorant, the whole whatever the hell they got. Comes in a leather bag. It's the shit. Go to manscaped.com, promo code PubSports. And go to mybookie.ag. Get promo code PubSports. Put 1,000. Transfer the Bitcoin real fast. They give you 1,000 right back. And go to pubsportsradio.com, baby. 2 for $25. Get your meat seasoned up. Get it rubbed up with the Pub Rub. Damn, it's good. Put it on your steaks, your chicken, your ribs, brisket. Come on, get out of here. Shit's bomb. Also, cop our merch, pubsportsradio.com. Best shirts in the game. You can't beat that logo. You can't beat our Pub Sports Radio logo. So dare someone to say one's looks better out there. I doubt it. All right, Max, let's get to the questions. Let's get to the games. Let's see this first one right here. Jake, this is a good one. SMU, Cincinnati. See a lot of SMU love a little bit today. Cincinnati struggled a little bit lately. What's your look here, Max?
I am worried about seeing all the other human beings loving SMU because I think I love SMU also.
Yeah.
I have been watching a lot of interviews from guys like Marcus and Michael Weathers, listening to Zach Nuttall speak about his acclimation to this team, learning the ins and outs of his teammates, and this team started shaky. And now they're on an 8-game win streak going into Cincinnati.
I know.
There are
5
guys on that team that were leading scorers on their previous stops, and they got a French Canadian, Emmanuel Bandomel.
Oui.
Damn, I love fucking SMU tonight, Connor. I love them, and that scares me because when I love things,
it is scary.
It doesn't turn well.
It is scary. It scares me. All the loves. It's like SMU is playing really well. They're starting to cover games, which always scared me when they were favorites, and now they're catching points. It just seems so simple, but watch out. It's be leery. That's all I'd have to say. Definitely. All right, let's get some of these other ones here. Grand Canyon, about Buck, wants to know, they're covering the 8 tonight?
Listen, for me, I'm on a wait-and-see situation with that game. Seeing Justin Johnson not playing, that is a big deal. If he doesn't play again, I'm not backing them just because Sam Houston State definitely allowed them to get back in the game last time out, but you play your best game the first game without your best player. So I think that it's a wait-and-see situation, and once I know starting lineups, then I will get involved in it from a wagering perspective.
All right, Hector wants to know, Friday, if you guys can, just put the numbers in there. I mean, obviously, I know most of them staring at these numbers all day, but Coastal Troy 1-point favorite, totals 138, I think. What's your look here?
Yeah, for me, I don't have anything in this game right now. I do think that there is value with Coastal Carolina. The question is that play that we've gotten used to seeing at home going to translate to the road? They're going to have a dominant big man in Mustafa down low and Hamilton, Ontario, Rudy Williams handling the ball and scoring it from the backcourt. Can they bring it to Troy? I do think that they have the talent advantage. I don't know if scheme-wise it's going to work out that way. So for me, it's a live betting situation and nothing pregame.
How about this one? New Jersey Tech versus UMass Lowell. I kind of like UMass Lowell here a little bit. I haven't betted or anything. They're laying 6.5, total 132. Do you have a look here?
Yeah, no, I'm all over the Highlanders tonight. I think that in the America East Conference, it is one of the few conferences that home court advantage is very minimal for all teams, even a team like Vermont. And I think that when you look at the combination and the quality that you're starting to get from NGIT, it's just about them being consistent and making shots for 40 minutes instead of 20. James Lee, Dylan O'Hearn from Windsor, Ontario, Miles Coleman, that's the trio that you need to all produce in this game on the road. And with your big man and Matt Faw and Suleiman Diakate, you aren't going to get muscled around. I think that the Highlanders can hang around. And with UMass Lowell, I like them, but I like them better when they have Conor Withers. And if they don't have Conor Withers, that takes away a lot of the allure of them. Don't get me wrong. Khalil Thomas and Everett Hammond have done a good job of running this offense. I just think that you add Withers to it, it makes UMass Lowell a 6-point favorite. With this personnel, they're not a 6-point favorite to me.
Okay, excellent breakdown. I love it. How about this one? We just talked about the SMU Cincinnati game. Jake wants to know, or no, who wrote it? Our guy about Buck. 70.5 max team total. One thing, Sensei's played low games. If SMU's got to get to about 70, but I'm not so sure. What do you think of their team total, SMU 70.5?
I personally think that if we're going to get the kind of game that my betting model spit out, then yeah, we're going to get 71 points from SMU. Kendrick Davis is going to have to have a big game, and he's going to have to make sure that he's making that offense go. This is a prime opportunity for him to show that he can go into a hostile environment, that he can go somewhere where he hasn't had necessarily the best success when it comes to the building and sight lines, and give me an outlier kind of game. So, yeah, 70s is a must if SMU's winning this game tonight.
All righty, here. Illinois, Chicago versus Wright State. Wright State's favored by 7. There's a 6.5 out there. Total 143.5. I stayed off the game. You going to lay it with Wright State here or what?
No, I took UIC on the overnights, but now I found out the information about Demaria Franklin not playing tonight. So I'm going to have to make a decision before the game starts, but I'll end up probably taking Wright State first half, leaving my full game, and hoping that I just get lucky.
All righty. Ohio State, Indiana. Indiana 3.5-point favorites here, Max. Total 137, right around there. Are you playing this game tonight?
Yeah, I'm playing this game. I'm not going to be playing the side. I do think that there is value with the dog, especially if Ohio State's going to have Kyle Young, but they're still not going to have Justice Suwang, and that does take away a lot of their scoring from the mid-range level. I think that when you have E.J. Liddell in a matchup against Trace Jackson Davis, he has to be the better player against him tonight. And with Trace Jackson Davis, you did see him hurt his ankle a little in the game against Penn State. So if there's any kind of lasting effects from that, I think that Ohio State may be able to pull off the surprise tonight. I think that there's value with the dog, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. Obviously, Indiana's always better at home. I'm not going to bet it. To stay away from me. Let's get to the next one. This one, Maryland at Illinois. Maryland got the cover, playing better basketball since Manning's kind of taken over. Illinois starting to play like the team we thought they were early in the year, but big 11-point favorites here, Max. Totals dropped 3 points. Do you agree with it? Conference play, it seems like a dogfight or this can get over. But what do you think?
Listen, I think that every time I take one of these double-digit favorites in the Big Ten, it ends up being pie in my face, so I'm not going to do that. Illinois probably ends up covering the 11 tonight. But the only bet that I have that I want to talk about in this game is just betting on Illinois. I want to bet on Illinois. I want Illinois to speed Maryland up. I want Illinois to be dominant with Kofi Cockburn down low. Wahab is definitely one of the centers that can provide a legitimate freaking line of defense against Cockburn. And if Cockburn picks up early fouls, that's going to be a real freaking nail in the coffin. I think that when you look at it, though, you have capable, competent three-point shooters, experienced three-point shooters in Grandison, Alfonso Plummer, and freaking Trent Frazier. They have to show up in this game more than ever. If they don't, Maryland, they've shown that they are not a pushover, and they're shooting more threes with this Danny Manning freaking coaching staff.
Yeah, 3 straight overs too. After being a dead nuts under team early on, they were like 8-2 to the under early on. You're right, shooting more threes, more offense. So maybe this over. I mean, I don't love it. I'm not going to play it, but I'd lean the points as well. It's not enough to play. I could see a big win by Illinois, and I could see it covered by Maryland. So it's a stay away for me there. All right, let's keep rolling through here. Shout out L. Ryan. I appreciate it, man. South Alabama. Can they cover the 5.5 tonight against App State, Max?
Yeah, listen, I'm not really interested in betting this game from a side perspective. I do think that the 135 or 135.5 had value when it was available. But aside from that, this is a live betting game for me.
All right. Let's get to a few more here. We just talked Illinois, just talked Indiana. How about this one? Middle Tennessee versus Rice. I think Rice is 4.5-point favorites. Total's high at 150. Anything here?
Yeah, listen, I think that with Middle Tennessee, they've done a really good job with Donovan Sims and Eli Lawrence of basically taking the production or lost production that you don't get with Jalen Jordan being injured. I do think that with DeAndre Dishman, he's going to have to make a difference tonight against Max Fiedler. But this is a Middle Tennessee team that does match up quite well against what Rice is going to do offensively and defensively. I think they're scoring in this game, and I do think that MTSU has the potential to be a first-half money line upset. So definitely looking towards the dog in that game.
Let's get to this one. We skipped over, obviously, a big game. Everyone wants to talk about it. Iowa, Wisconsin. Wisconsin moved to 3.5. This total's right at here, 147, maybe 146.5. Wisconsin's played a little quicker the last few overs, but at home they kind of are an under team. Max, Iowa over team. Could this be too many points? Too high maybe? I was looking at that. This could be an under in this spot. Iowa on the road hasn't been too great as well. I lean them with the points, but what's your look here?
I actually lean the other way. I think that Wisconsin is just such a tough place to play at home.
It is.
Yeah.
You cut out for a sec. You want to just bounce them, show? All right. Just let me get to the next game. Just bring him back in 10 seconds. Should be fine. Let's get to a next one here. We talk North Texas. Let's just talk Iowa real quick. Wisconsin. I just need more points. Iowa's not that good on the road like they are at home. So, but that total is very interesting. Wisconsin's played to the over a lot lately, the last 2 games, and their defense hasn't looked as good. But I think this could be an under. Once we get in conference play, Big Ten play, you got to start thinking under. So I lean under in this game. I'm not having a bet on either side of it, but that's my look here. Keep them pumping. I need some games to talk about. If not, I'm going to start rolling through the list here real quick. All right, let's roll through here. Let's get to some of these games we haven't talked about. UT Martin, Tennessee State was a game I was looking at. UT Martin's a team that I've backed a little bit, and that's been good as a dog, but Tennessee State not laying 5.5 here. This was a game I wanted to take, and I still might. Obviously, UT Martin just played Austin Peay. Not only they covered, they beat them outright. I had them. Before that, they got blown out by Drake. They were horrible in that game. They've had some bad losses, but I'm not so high on Tennessee State. I think UT Martin could be a sneaky team here, catching 5 in this one. And I think that total might be pretty high at 144. That was also a lean for me, was the under in the UT Martin game a little bit. But I liked them off the last win, Austin Peay. I just don't know if I'll go back to the window with UT Martin again, but I lean them catching the 5 points. Anything here, Max, in this game? Tennessee Martin?
Yeah, listen, I'm looking at UT Martin in this spot. I do think that they are the scrappier team, and even though Tennessee State has gotten rid of a locker room problem in Hersey Miller, I just don't think it's the difference tonight. I think that is too many points. I'm taking the dog.
Okay, excellent. Let's get to Someone wrote Manhattan plus 10 tonight from T-Mac.
Manhattan?
I don't know why he has Manhattan plus 10 on here. I didn't see him on the schedule either.
Yeah,
You?
I didn't see Manhattan on the schedule.
Me either. UTSA Southern Miss.
Yeah, that game's a pass for me. Not
Yeah, that was
interested
a pass.
in anything.
That was a pass for me as well. How about Washington State, Colorado, Max? Anything there?
Yeah, Pac-12 disease. I'm not gonna get it. No, thank you. Wearing the double mask, triple mask, and a condom over my head.
Yeah, real quick. I always like Colorado better at home, but I've been impressed by them all year. And Washington State's a team that's just I haven't been able to figure out, and they haven't played their best basketball lately. So tough one for me. That game that total might be a little low. It started at 129. It's at 130 and a half right now. I think that game could get over. Colorado, they do score more at home. So I lean over in that Washington State, Colorado game. New Hampshire. Yep, I'm on New Hampshire. T-Mac, that's one of my games I talked about. I took the 10 and a half with them there. C. James wants to know Montana laying the 10 against Idaho tonight.
I think that the game with Montana State and Idaho is going to be interesting because it's going to be closed to the public. Idaho's not going to have that home court advantage. But with Montana State, they've had the tendency to play down to their opponent, get off to slow starts, and then really freaking make your ass clench like a bank vault in the second half. I do think that there is value betting them live at halftime if they underperform. But otherwise, I don't see a numerical reason why Montana State doesn't dominate Idaho, even on the road.
Here you go, Max. They said you didn't get to finish your Iowa-Wisconsin breakdown. Did you, are you betting that game?
Yeah, I guess I clicked out of the stream by mistake, getting excited.
No, you're
watching.
good. You just, yeah.
Okay.
You're all good.
I think that just for me, with the way that Iowa still is going to be able to score the basketball inside with Keegan Murray, the first half over was the only play that interests me pregame wise. The question is Wisconsin going to be able to score with Iowa? I think they're going to be. I think Wisconsin really shocks us with a really heavy offensive output. And I think that they just don't really leave any question marks when it comes to it. And Iowa struggles on the road, and I think they're going to struggle against Wisconsin.
All right, let's rip through a few of these before we get out of here, Max. Texas, Arlington, Georgia State 8-point favorites, total 137.5. Anything here?
Yeah, listen, I think that with Aaliyah Newsome possibly playing for Georgia State, that's a big difference maker in the front court because let's face it, Jalen Thomas has not been the offensive weapon that you thought that he could be at 6'10". He's been decent on the glass, but he needs someone that knows how to score down low, and the Canadian Newsome knows how to do that. I think that with Justin Roberts coming off the bench and playing that third guard role is very interesting. I think that could be a difference maker type output tonight for him. If he gets off, Georgia State may be able to cover this game, but right now at 8 points with the current circumstances and Georgia State coming off a layoff, I'm only looking at UTA. UTA has been in this number range before and has cash for their backers. I think that they have the opportunity to do so again tonight.
How about this game, Max? I thought it was pretty interesting. Stephen F. Austin, Abilene Christian. Abilene Christian 6.5-point favorites, total 141.5, 142. You have a look in this one?
Yeah, listen, I think that with Abilene Christian, Stephen F. Austin, this is a Texas battle. Abilene Christian is going to have to score the basketball against Stephen F. Austin. Gavin Kensmill is going to be hard to stop. It will be interesting to see how Abilene Christian's smaller backcourt goes up against Stephen F. Austin as well. I think that there's points early in this game. The first half over 65.5 was a play that I jumped on early. And I'm a big fan of the coaching style of Abilene's coach, Brett Tanner. I am riding with Abilene to fuck with their goddamn eyes open on home court and send Stephen F. Austin to the back of the freaking Taco Bell to eat out of the dumpster.
Damn. I like Abilene. That it's just that dreaded kind of 6.5, 7. Stephen F. Austin, no pushover, so it was a tough one for me. I had to lay off there. All right, maybe a couple more before we get out, Max. Washington at Utah. Utah laying a big number, 10.5 total, high to 149. Utah cover here at home. Washington this bad still?
Yeah, brother, this game is all you. I will probably be freaking dreaming of Ladies of the Night and Dr. Mandy and the things that she wants to do to me when I pay her money.
Get to stay away. It's Utah or nothing. I can't take Washington right now. I couldn't even take the 10 with them.
Oh,
they're that
what
bad.
about their team total over? That's pretty cashable.
Yeah, Utah team total could be over. How about this one? UCLA team total. They're laying 26 to Long Beach, total 143.5. Anything here?
Yeah, I want to take the over in the game, but I'm just not convinced it actually gets played. So Long Beach has given you some proverbial blue balls already a couple times in the last couple weeks, and this night could be another blue ball. So want to take the over, having trouble pulling the trigger.
Definitely. How about this one? Sam Houston versus Tarleton. Hit it, Sam Houston. I don't want them in the 3.5. It's Tarleton or pass. Lean under. What do you think?
Yeah, Tarleton at home is a different animal. Savion Flagg is going to have an easy time scoring the basketball versus this backcourt as he did last time out. And like Conor said, Tarleton at home, different animal.
Yeah, totally agree. Let me throw this one real quick, unless somebody has an extra one or two. The Battle of the St. Francis's, Max. St. Francis, PA, and St. Francis, New York. Classic.
Look at you talking dirty, Conor. Look at you talking dirty to me. Oh, man.
Tell me which St. Francis you want. Come on, Maxie. Which St. Francis you want?
Pennsylvania, bro.
Okay.
Give me Pennsylvania. Come on, man. This Titter team still has not recovered from losing Hawkins. They haven't been able to fucking hit 70+% of their free throws, even in their home games. They may have a couple Canadians on the roster. One isn't playing in Patrick Emelin. The other is playing in by Hadara is playing. But at the end of the day, this is a healthy St. Francis team. Josh Cohen, Mark Flagg up front, Ramir Dixon Conover in the freaking backcourt. I don't see, unless they don't shoot the ball well at all and fall behind in the first half by 15 points, a reason why St. Francis, Pennsylvania can't go in and win this game.
Yep. MMA Locker Room Mills, we talked about it. That's one of my games. I'm on the under. It's North Texas or nothing for me in that one. Andrew wants to know Seattle, Chicago State. You have anything in that one?
Yeah, listen, with Chicago State, definitely a spot where I want to be taking the over. I do think that Seattle is going to put an ass whooping on them, and if they don't, shame on them, because this is beautiful freaking offensive flexing time, and we know that with Grigsby, with frickin' Darian Trammell, with Cam Tyson, they got the frickin' offensive firepower to win this game by 15+.
Hell yeah. Smash the like button. Hit the retweet, all that good shit. We appreciate all the support up in the chat. That's it. Damn, I thought there was one more I wanted to talk to you about, Max. Oh, in that game, real quick. I'm losing my train of thought now. In that game, the lines moved already. You talked about the over from 136.5 to 139. Still good, though, you think, for the over? Because I'm sure you got it, at 136.5, but you still think it's playable? 139?
Yeah, I still think it's playable. I think that it's going to come down. It may come down to how fast of a start we get off to. We have a slow under 15 points in the first 5 minutes. It's going to make it a little trickier, but fast starts love to help overs.
Definitely do. All right, Max, that is it. I think we've about touched them all, and if you didn't, there's a small game we might have missed. Hey, you had the chance to let us know if you do throw it in. Noli knows our guy over better. Hey, I got some unders. I'm about to go through them right now. All right, real quick for Andrew Belmont.
Conor, he's talking to me. He's calling me.
Yeah, okay.
Listen, Noli, when you bet as much volume as me, you can't just bet every game under. Stop stealing Canadians' water and frickin' put out your own forest fires.
Oh, shit. Real quick, Belmont minus 21 against SEMO. Andrew
I
wants to
think
know.
that it's definitely a spot Belmont can really cover and win. It's just a number I'm not gonna lay.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm not going to lay it at all. Let me give a shout out to the chat real quick, Max. You give your games, your looks, I'll give mine, and we'll get the hell on out of here. Jake Burns, our guy Mighty Ass. Bap, win. Guy, what's up? It's good to see you, bro, in the chat. Sean Murphy, C. James, Mills, what's up? Andrew, Noli knows. Over better, maybe. Canes Nation, our guy Slaughter in the house. Texas two-step. Remember to bet it tonight. Our guy Nicky Fish Tanks, About Buck. Everyone in here. Chai Archie, Brett, hit the like, hit the thumbs up. They're in another show out there going through all the games like we are. And I think, we're starting to get hot. I'm getting hot. We'll put money in your pocket here as we get going. And Max is unreal. Follow him live. This guy is an unreal live bettor. I mean, I got to give it to you, Max. You're very good at that. So, but
Conor,
go ahead.
I'll say this. I have lots of monitors, lots of time, and I live alone now. I used to not live alone, but now I live alone. So I got more time to spend betting and looking at screens.
Hey, we love the work you put in, and let's give out your best looks for tonight. Let's give out your best bets.
Okay, so listen, this is always scary. You should be scared. I'm scared. I'm taking the goddamn over in the Ohio State-Indiana game. I think that with Ohio State coming off their COVID layoff and then having a bit of a troubling game against Nebraska, I think that their offense functions a lot better tonight with Young in the lineup. And I think that with Indiana, this is a talented offensive team. This is a deep team. This is a lot of options for Coach Woodson. And I think that we see two teams that usually score 75 points eclipse that tonight against each other. I think that when we look at this next best bet, it is a bit of a toughie because everybody and their mother seems to like it, but I am just completely inspired by what I'm seeing from SMU. I think that when you bring all these leading scores from the previous stops together, it's all about how fast you can build chemistry. And the way that SMU has done so makes me want to take them first half money line plus 120 to see if they can get out to a good start and show Cincinnati who is sleeping on the floor and who's sleeping on the top cot. As far as my third best bet, Conor, I think that when we look at this spot, the number has impacted my decision. I do think that with Wagner going up against Bryant on national television on NESN and ESPN3, I think that Wagner shows up. Elijah Ford is not going to have a matchup and size disadvantage like he did in the non-conference season. He's the X factor tonight. Delonte Hunt runs the show. Give me Wagner minus 7.5 at home against a team without their coach.
Excellent. Wagner full game, 7.5. Shout out to Ron Crawford. My bad, I missed you. I'll give out his spreadsheet plays here. Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, South Alabama, Wagner, Illinois, and Washington State for our guy Ron Crawford. Spreadsheet plays of the day from our guy Ron Crawford. Let's hit mine real quick, and we'll bounce. Let's get to it. UC San Diego, and sorry, I'm losing my my notes here. Sorry, Max. San Diego and Riverside under 133.5. The game stays under. I'm going to probably take the points with San Diego. I think they can cover that game. SC Cal, I'm staying off the side, under 128.5. UAB North Texas, total under 129. Where are you at, Noli? Under, baby. I'm on unders. Under City today. Also, North Texas, I think, wins that game. Just lay the 2. If you're scared, take a money line. I think they get it done. New Hampshire, this is my dirty dog of the day, plus 10.5. They've been off a long layoff. Man, this could bite me in the ass, but I'm taking New Hampshire plus 10.5. A lot of bets for me today here, Max. And then I'm on the over. I like Eastern Washington at home, catching the 2.5, but official, give me the over, 141.5. I think it gets up and over the total. And that's all for me today. So that's it. We got it done.
I like all your action, Conor. I like it all. I'll probably be on all your action also. Okay.
I hope we can
Come
I
through
will.
for me. I need chicken tenders. I need local strippers, and I need lots of honey because I'm never dipping in honey mustard. Love you, Nick.
There we go. Shout out to Matty Ice. His taint play of the day, SMU. He is giving us a little bit of calm because it seems like everyone's on SMU freaking out a little bit. Cincinnati's losing games, especially against the spread. That makes you feel better, right, Max?
Absolutely. It seems like some Playboy Bunny taint, and I love Playboy Bunny taint.
No doubt you don't. We'll leave it at that. He's the great Maxwell Smart. I'm Conor Mack, and we be pumping! Get that cash.